Pat, we have a guest here with you right here, David Gesualdi, and I'm going to let you take it from here because, you know, this is historic for Bethel. Okay.
What we took a look at is 2010 is the 200th anniversary of P.T. Barnum's birth in Bethel. And he lived in Bethel until about 1834, 1835. And we discussed on the board, what could we do to celebrate those 200 years? And then we thought about bringing a life-size statue of Barnum to Bethel. And David was the very first person that we thought of because of the work that he did for the piece that sits in front of the Municipal Center. And so I called David, and he was very excited about the prospect of doing this. And it meant David had to begin the work quickly because our plan was the people of Bethel were going to be allowed to select the version that they wanted this statue to portray.
A statue of P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum.
That's right. And, you know, we instantly got together, myself and Pat and many other members of the Historical Society, and started to talk about the spirit of P.T. Barnum and really what he was all about and what he really means to the people in Bethel. And we talked to a lot of people about that as well. So we're not only trying to capture a likeness of P.T. Barnum, but we're also trying to capture the spirit of P.T. Barnum, which also translates very well, I think, into the spirit of Bethel, which is a very grassroots can-do attitude. And that's what I've always loved about our town.
Now, the statue that you're referring to, are we talking bust size only, or?
No, we're doing a life-size statue in bronze of P.T. Barnum. To start, I can show a picture.
We'll start with a picture of who is P.T. Barnum. This was taken, do we have him on camera yet? Let's get him on camera. The picture of P.T. Barnum. There he is. David, now or I should ask Pat, what's the age of P.T. right here?
We think he was in his 80s in this picture. In his 80s? Yes.
I would say 80s from all the
so this would have been about 1870.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, approximately.
Okay. And this is something that you're going to be depicting in bronze, I would assume?
That's correct. The final piece will be in bronze. That really is the most permanent material we can put up in a public place outdoors right now. And that's
we're looking at, I'm going to say,
6
6-foot size?
Yeah, it'll be life size.
Plus a pedestal?
Plus a pedestal.
Plus a pedestal.
Okay.
Life size, and he'll greet everybody as they pass through Bethel and drive down Greenwood Avenue.
Okay. What drove this?
Well, it was the fact that it was going to be his 200th birthday. Mm-hmm. And Barnum being born here in Bethel, you can walk the streets of Bethel, but there really is no reminder other than the square is named P.T. Barnum Square. And unless you know the Barnum House is located at 55 Greenwood Avenue, people coming through Bethel would have no idea that this is where Barnum's life began. And we decided that this is an ideal way to honor the man who was world-renowned. And so we began this process.
I see. Now, what about the location? Now, you know, you're thinking P.T. Barnum Square itself, or
no?
Help me out with this, because I think of the World War I statue of the military man there standing, the doughboy.
The doughboy. Most people thought that that is the spot that we were going to take a look at, but because the doughboy is there, we don't want to do anything to take away from that important statue.
Right.
We don't want one overpowering the other.
Okay.
So we had to take a look. What would be the ideal spot? We took a look at our building, which is on Main Street. It does get a lot of traffic, but it doesn't get a lot of foot traffic. And that was a concern to us. So then we went over to the library, and we took a look at the library property, both the house facing Greenwood Avenue, the Seeley House,
right.
But then we went around to the new entrance and took a look at that. And we thought, no, with the new entrance, it's overshadowed by the teen center, and so again, very little foot traffic.
Right.
So we actually stood my husband up on a
ladder, the guinea pig,
on a ladder, and if you look at the Seeley House, just to the right column, there is a dogwood tree there that unfortunately is dying.
Right.
And it appeared to be the ideal spot.
Right off of Greenwood, for Greenwood.
Right off of Greenwood. But of course, then we had to get the approval of the library board to do that. So I went and met with Lynn Rosato and the library board just about a year and a half ago. And they unanimously agreed that we could put the statue in the front lawn by the Seeley House.
Yeah, it's really the right place. Welcome to Bethel.
Welcome to
Phineas
Bethel.
T. Barnum. Right.
Well, there is a story that actually is behind the two gentlemen, because P.T. Barnum was sent to jail in Danbury for 60 days. And it was Seth Seeley that put him there. Barnum,
what a coincidence, eh?
Barnum had actually written in his Herald of Freedom, the newspaper that Barnum published, that Seth Seeley, he accused him of usury. Seeley had lent money to a very young man, and when he went to collect the money back, Barnum said he was charging an excess rate of interest. Seeley decided to take Mr. Barnum to court, and Mr. Barnum lost.
Oh.
And so Mr. Barnum spent 60 days over in the Danbury jail.
The old Danbury jailhouse.
The old Danbury jail.
jailhouse.